Hi everyone, hope you guys are doing great. Today we'll be resuming our video of eShop application in which we have created a controller and a service. So without further ado, let's just go to the application. Okay, so I can quickly give you an overview. We have created a controller and we do have a context class as well, a couple of models and a view models, and we do have a service class as well. So let's try to run and see where our application is at this point of time. So here you can see that we are receiving uh, an error stating like resolve service for catalog context. So let's see at which point of time we are facing this. When the builder is trying to build it, so we are facing this issue. The reason is we haven't registered that DB context. So let's just add that. Let me just add that builder dot services dot add DB context. So over here, the DB context class that we have created is a catalog context, and within that, as we need to use the SQL server, so what we'll be doing, C goes to over here inside this, we are going to use try catch, and within the try, we are going to use SQL server. And let me just keep this empty for now. I'll be adding a connection string over here. I'm not going to use any configuration manager as of now. In and in the later part of this video, I'll do so. But just to keep it simple, I'll be just adding a connection string over here. And for the sake of like exception, in case there is an exception, we will throw it. So let's just keep it there, and let's just try to close this and this one. Just okay. So we have our DB context being available, and one more thing we need to do, like we don't have our migrations ready as well, so we need to add those migrations file as well. Migrations are basically those files like as we are dealing with uh, code first approach, so our database is not yet ready, so migration files help us sync with the database. And on initial start, I will show you how the database is being created from the application as well. Currently we do not have any database, so let's just move forward and see if we have completed our catalog service as well. So just to have a quick overview, in our catalog service, we have completed this catalog item, but the brand one and the type one is missing. So let's just complete that first. As the brands are okay, so for brands, we are going to call the context, and within the context, there is a brand catalog branch model, and then we are going to get a list async. So we with the brand we are having, let's just add the items, and then we are going to use a new list of select item. What we are trying to do over here, we are trying to get the brands, and we are going to return a enumerable for select list items. So this is going to be sent across to our view to populate the drop downs, which we have discussed earlier. So just trying to complete this. Let's just do items dot add, and we are going to add new select list item. And for this one, we need to show for the first item saying that all. So we are going to give a value of null for that, and the text is going to be all. And we want this to be selected by default. So selected 2 is being there. So with this being added, this is the first item. We need to add further items as well. So add this, and at this point of time, what we are going to do, we are going to add the value. Oh, sorry, one thing which I missed. I need to add a for each, because all the items that we have retrieved, we are going to add those inside the items. So let me just do this way. We need to say this like this is going to be sort of a brand, and let's keep this as brands. So do this way, branded brands. And for the item, we are going to add the value is going to be brand dot id dot to string. So this is the value, and the text is going to be brand dot brand. And we are going to close it. What else is missing? Okay, yeah, one thing. This is the one which is missing. Okay, so let's just return the items. So for this, we have created it for brands. On a similar lines, this needs to be used for type. So rather than typing the whole stuff, I'll try to use this and modify it as per need. We do require the types over here. So let's just keep it to type. And rather than saying it brands, say it types. And what we else we need to do, a type inside types. We need to send back type id and type dot type. And what else we need to return? List of items. I think we're missing something over here. This is supposed to be, yeah, async is missing, because you can see await is being there. So the method should have async keyword. So with this, you can see it's working fine. So with this being said, we have added our service. We have like completed our service class on the 3 methods implementation. And then we need to do one thing. Let me just go to back to the program file, and let me just copy and add the connection string here. Just give me a minute. Okay, so instead of typing in, I'm just going to paste it. So server is going to be the database server that you have installed at your disposal, or with your system, so that you can use. I'm using integrated security rather than username and password. If you do have a username password, you can use that one. The initial catalog is the database, which is supposed to be like catalog DB, and I'm using encrypt false at this point of time. Otherwise, I might need to provide any specific certificate. So with this being said, let me just see if the database is there or not. Okay, so I can quickly show you that I do not have that specific database. And let me just try to run the app. We are still missing one piece, and which is the seeding and the creation of database, but I just want to show you step by step how it's going to work. So with this being database being there, and it's time to connect, so let me just run it and see what happens. We are facing an issue. You can see over here, like cannot open database because this database itself do not exist, and we haven't created any migrations files for this as well, and we do not have any seeding data sort of class for this as well. So let's do one thing. Okay, so I have opened the package manager console. You can even use the terminal as well. So for this, you can go to tools, look at package manager, and the package manager console is there. What I will try to do, I will try to create the migration files. So for migration file creation, let me just clear this up. So for creating a migration file, I need to run .NET EF and migrations, and then add initial create. So let me just try to run this, and you will see a folder being created with the name of migration. And I'll be quickly showcasing you what those files are there. So you can see over here, like migrations files have been created, initial create, and a catalog context model snapshot. So this is the baseline thing. So let's proceed further with our being database server being up, and we are able to connect it, but due to the reason the database is not there, so we need to create the migration, as well as there needs to be a code which help us create the database and also help us seed the data inside the database table as well. So for that, let's do one thing. Before this app is going to run, let me just add one more thing. I'm going to add a catalog. Let me just create the file first within the infrastructure. This is the catalog context, and I am going to name that file catalog context seed. So I'm just creating this file just for the sake of reference, and there is supposed to be a method named seed. So rather than creating this as of now, let me just keep this file name, so you will get to know in a while what I'm trying to achieve. So with this catalog context, what we are trying to achieve over here, once our application is going to run, this program file, this program file to have a main. So on an initial load, this application is like creating the web application as well as launching the app. So before this application is going to get run, I need to create the database if it's not there, and also need to seed that database. For that, I need to use that seeding file. So it's going to be catalog context seed, and this is going to be async file. And what I want to pass on, I will be providing app to it. And what else? App dot services. I need to provide a logger as well. So for that, I'm going to get hold of get required service, and this is going to be iLogger factory in case any exception do occur. So this can be logged as well. So for that, that's one thing. And let's just use wait for this. So with this being done, now let's just move to this context. It's sorry, this is supposed to be seeding class, but class, yeah. So this is going to be this class. Let me just move to this. Okay, this class, in this class, we are going to create a static method because we don't need any specific instance of this class. We just need this method to initialize the database or create the database, and then we are going to seed the data inside the table. So let's start with the method. We are going to create a static method, and this is going to be an async task, and then we need to call it seed async. So with this being done, what we will be requiring, one is going to be an application builder, which we'll be using. I'll be quickly showcasing for what reason we are using that. And the second thing is going to be a iLogger factory. This is going to be a logger factory. One more thing which we can do, we can provide an nullable retry because we haven't provided any retry mechanism over there when we are calling this function, but just to make this working in case if the database is not accessible on the first load, so we can have a retry, and within our function we will be building it in a way that at least 10 retries would be tried before we just throw an exception. So with this being done, let's just initialize the retry for availability. And this is going to be retry dot value in case if something is coming, otherwise it is going to be 0. Moving forward, what we are trying to do, let's have a try catch, and inside that we are going to use a scope service for the DB context. So this application builder which we have provided, and with this application services we need to create a scope. I'll be quickly suggesting or telling you why we are using this. For the time being, just think of it that we are using a scope. Okay, so when the application run for the very first time, there is no actual request coming in. So the program file is being there and no actual request is coming in. So services being there, they do not have any scope. So for those services which we need, like a context or something, we explicitly create a scope and then we provide it, and using that scope we can like access that service. So let's move forward. You might get more clarity moving forward. So let's just create the context out of this scope service. So let's just scope.service provider, and in that let's just get the required service, and our required service is catalog context. So we have the context with us now. Let me just, with this context being available, what we are going to do, we are going to check the database dot migrate. What does it do? Like it checks if let me just try to bring, will create the database if it doesn't already exist. So in case if there is no database, this is going to be created. Moving forward, we'll be checking using the context if we do have the catalog brands, and is there any item being available. So we are not going to create it. But if there is nothing, so we are going to use this not to run this. So let's just use that any, and within this, what we are going to do, we are going to use the context, and then we use the catalog brand, and we are going to add range. Using this add range, we'll be retrieving enumerable, and using that enumerable, we are going to add all those records which I will be quickly showcasing you to the database table. So let's just name it this get pre-configured catalog brands. We will be creating this method later, so let's just keep it that way. And then what we need to save changes, like all those seeding data needs to be saved. With this being done, this is, we have done it for just one database table, so there are like two more. So let's do it for the other two as well. Well, I'm just to base it up, I'm trying to copy it, and this time I'm going to use it for catalog types, and the same goes for types here, and I'm going to name this catalog type. And the third one which we need is for item, so let's just copy and paste over here, and this is going to be catalog items and get curriculum catalog item. So this is going to be item, and what else I'm missing? I need to use items. With this being done, this is the try. With using the scope is like clear. Let me just see, and we do have the catch with us over here. We are going to capture the exception, and if retry availability is less than 10. So what we are trying to do achieve over here, if it's less than 10, we are going to retry once more. But if it to achieve a count of 10, we aren't going to retry. So let's retry for availability plus plus. So on initial count it was 0, and it will be like incremented to 1. So, and then what we are trying to do, we are going to log using the logger factory which we have provided. So let's just try to get hold of the logger factory and create a logger. I'm going to name it catalog seed. So let's just what do the log error, and this is supposed to be ex.message, whatever the message is supposed to be. And then what we are going to do, we are going to call this seed async once again, so providing the same thing which we have available to us. uh, with this being done, the catch is being there, and what else we are missing? There's nothing, only those pre-configured methods needs to be built. So let's just try to create one. These are again going to be static methods, which is going to return an enumerable of catalog brand for the first one, because we are going to use it for the, and the name I'm going to copy from here, catalog brand. um, then what we are trying to do, we are trying to populate it using, so let's just return a new list of catalog brand. And within the catalog brand, what we are trying to get, we are going to get a new catalog brand, and which itself is like, let's just add the brand name Azure. So we need to add a further couple of more. So rather than typing each and everything, I'm going to copy it and I'm going to paste it over here. So I'm going to paste it over here, and let's see. Okay, what I've done, I have copied the code for this one. So let me just remove this one. I will be quickly walking you through what is going to be done over here. This method itself is returning a list of catalog brands, and in those brands we do have like multiple brands, Azure, .NET, this and that, and then we move further. And in this method, the catalog types we are returning in a similar capacity, but this time it's a catalog type, list of catalog type. And for the items, what we are going to return, we are going to return a enumerable of catalog items. This list is going to be for catalog items, and in catalog item you can see, as this is a comparatively uh, like bigger table. So we do have a catalog ID, catalog brand ID, which are the foreign keys being tagged, and the description, the name, and the price you can see, and even a picture URI as well. And if you can recall, this is the placeholder which we are trying to replace in our compose method. But if you are not able to recall, don't worry. You can get that code from the Git repo as well, and we'll be discussing what for the moving. So with this being done, the seed is being done. Let me see why it's not working properly. Okay, I was messing these brackets. So same needs to be done for these types. And the same needs to be done for these items. Let's see if it's the exact name or not. Otherwise, let's just copy the pre-configured catalog types and just try to copy and paste where the configured catalog types looking like same. I don't know what piece I'm missing. Yeah, I think the configured one is caps over here. Now let me just do one thing. Let's just try to copy it so I don't. Okay. Yeah, so instead of saying catalog items, we are saying it get pre-configured items. So this being done, let's just try to run it. Before that, let me just quickly show you that we don't have any database over here. If it works fine, so we might be getting a database being created. Let's see if it works or not. We do have an error. What error we are having doesn't contain the application for seed async. So okay, so this was the issue. What does this? Okay. Okay, so let me just try to run it. And this time, okay. So seems like the database being created. One thing, one piece of thing is missing that initially we haven't done. So before going to address this issue, let me show you one thing. I've just refreshed it, and you can see the catalog database is there. The tables are there, and you can see the catalog brand, and the catalog type table is there. If I'm going to select this, you can see the data being available there as well. If you can quickly recall, we have created Azure, .NET, and this brands, and these are already there. Now just address this one. This is the trivial one. So let's just go to the home one, because we have removed the home controller. So let's just remove this home view as well because we don't need that. And for this controller, I'm going to this index one, and there is a provision to add view. I'm going to add an empty view for now. This is going to add an empty view, and I'm keeping it that way, simple. And I'm going to run it, and you can see over here that we are able to run it. So what we have done so far successfully, we have created a database and we have populated that as well. We have created a migration file as well, and using the our program.cs file, we have run that seeding as well, and also added a db context. So far, if you can recall that we are able to create a database, we are able to create the migrations, and we are now in a condition that we have set the foundations for our e-commerce application, the eShop. So with this foundational things being set up, now we are going to proceed with those like catalogs and the things which we have referred in our initial video. So hopefully you are like following along with me and finding it useful to create these underlying foundation stuff, and you are able to connect the pieces, like how things are working uh, with, in connection to each other rather than just looking at the things individually. Hopefully you found this useful, and in case if you find this useful, feel free to like and subscribe, and do mention anything which you like to ask, or if you have any feedback or comment, or you would like to hear about anything around the videos or any specific video, so feel free to share it within the comments. So thank you for watching. Take care. Bye.